Hello, and welcome to RIME Entertainment Showcase with your hosts, Rita and Mel.
Hey guys, welcome to RIME Entertainment Showcase. My name is Mel.
And my name is Rita.
Almost forgot my name there.
And welcome to our podcast for this month.
Yep, so basically, we don't have a special guest for this month, so we thought we would talk to you via our podcast. It'll still be available on YouTube, don't worry. So one of the things that we wanted to kind of talk about today is what we've been up to so far, and obviously our topic of this month.
So, what have we been up to this month, Mel?
Travelling. A long haul travelling.
Yeah, we went back to Mauritius to visit our father, and it was good to be there. It was good to relax, eat
a lot,
and spend time with our dad. And yeah, and we got back last weekend, and it's just been kind of busy, non-stop,
really busy,
with business and everything. And it's just, I guess our struggle was getting back into the routine.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of those key things that always happens when you're coming back, especially after 2 weeks being abroad. You lose sight of how to get your drive back. And it was really difficult from being in such a relaxed place. So Mauritius is really relaxed. Like, it's so relaxed you could fall off your chair. It's just chilled. So to get back, or even just to try and think business from there and really kind of get up and go is really difficult. I don't know about you, Rita, but I know I certainly found it challenging.
It was, definitely. I mean, there was a few things that I wanted to get done business-wise, to plan out, and it was just, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And then getting back, it was like that was still lingering there, that feeling. And yeah, it was hard last week to get back into the routine of things, but at the same time, it's good to take that time out. It's good to have that break. And I know, like, both me and Mel actually are more clearer about our direction forward, and sometimes the universe asks you to just stop and let the universe inspire you with new things and maybe re-looking and revamping certain areas. That's the message I got this period.
Definitely. And also look at your priorities as well. So having those 2 weeks really kind of looking at a lot of areas of what we do generally was about saying, right, what do we need to do? What should we do? And also, what do we have passion for? And reevaluating that. So, yeah, definitely one of those key things is, I think, definitely to take time out. Don't just keep working to the daily grind. Although, like, you'll feel like you're scared to lose that momentum. But if you don't take time out for yourself, or even just time out just to chill and spend time with those that matter, then, it just makes sense. You start to value what is important. And I think that's exactly what we did for the last couple of weeks.
And it's about the quality of life and just being able to chill out and have a laugh and appreciate each other, and just be you without any commitments and without any responsibilities, because you can always pick up responsibilities anytime you want. So just being able to put them down, have a laugh, and just don't worry about anything. And I think that was the key thing. So yeah, if you get the opportunity to just relax and you feel inspired not to do something,
don't do it.
Don't do it, yeah.
Don't do it. If you don't want to do it, if you're going to moan about it, then you're better off just parking it, putting it to one side and getting on with something else, or just chilling.
Yeah.
Just chill.
And then when you're ready,
pick it up again.
Pick it up, and the energy will be there. Don't worry. There'll always be that energy there for you to get going and moving at the right time.
Speaking of energy, one of the things that we'd like to talk about is our next topic, which is all about Freddie Mercury. So stay tuned for the next segment of this show.
Welcome back, everyone, and as Mel mentioned before our break, we are going to be talking about the legend Freddie Mercury. So Mel, why are we going to be talking about Freddie Mercury?
Well, okay, I mean, I know there's a lot of hype with Bohemian Rhapsody, which we've watched about 7 times, even on our route back to London when we're coming back from Mauritius. And it's just still such an amazing film. Now, everyone has their opinions on it, whether there were, exactly true events that occurred. Also some, were kind of looking at, they wanted to know more about the debauchery and everything, on that side scale of it. But to be honest, it was a great movie.
It sure
and
was.
We've watched it 6 or 7 times now. Pretty sure we're going to watch it again and again and again. That being said, I think it was it 2 days ago? 3 days ago when we watched a documentary? I think
2 days ago.
Yeah, it was about
2 days
Friday.
ago,
Friday night. This is Sunday, by the way. Yeah, so 2 days. We watched a documentary about the legend himself, and just the finer details that you don't really tend to hear about on a lot of documentaries. About his family life, about his from when he was a little boy to when he the last days of his life. And for us, we were really inspired because not only is he just an amazing rock star, the legend, everything that he did was just absolutely amazing, but also the fact that he was from Zanzibar, so it's an Indian Ocean, it's an island in the Indian Ocean, if I get my facts right. And I feel we resonated with it because we're from Mauritius, which is another island in the Indian Ocean, and of course, true events that happened to him and his family were very different to ours, but that kind of connecting with the culture side of it was really inspiring. And it was almost like, well, hang on a sec, we had this amazing rock star, this legend that was actually Asian.
Yeah.
And to celebrate that now, and he was respected and loved from all over the world regardless of his actual background, and it's just great. It just really took to me, and I thought, wow, why aren't we not more inspired as a culture by someone like Freddie Mercury?
And I think also for myself, this is Rita speaking, by the way. The fact that he was a shy person and he was self-conscious, that's something close to my own personal journey, because I was very shy and self-conscious. He was self-conscious because a lot of people mentioned about the way he looked in terms of his teeth, and he was different in his whole presentation. But that's a big thing to overcome and still go for your dreams, especially being the frontman of a band. Like, to be the lead singer, all eyes are on you. People loved Roger Taylor, and like most girls went crazy about him, but the lead singer, if the lead singer doesn't have that certain something, a band can lose
Presence.
Yeah, it's that presence. And I think that was one thing that I connected with, was the fact that even though he was insecure in himself at a very young age, he still, when his family came to the UK, he still kept on. He still went out, and he formed a band before, and even in the UK it didn't stop him. He just kept on pursuing his dreams, and to me that is something that is an inspiration to everyone, whatever your culture is.
Yeah, absolutely. And going on from that, it was something that was, for me, what was so important was being in Britain in time of at the time of the 60s, 70s. I mean, I weren't even thought of then because I wasn't even born until the 80s. But looking at the cultural differences, the sorts of you know, I'm not sure if those that are listening to this podcast have watched Bohemian Rhapsody, but, you know, certain derogatory terms that were said to him at the time that he was working at Heathrow Airport. And, you know, I mean, again, you know, it's kind of like he had to mention that he was not from that country. So, you know, they just assumed he was from Pakistan just because of the colour of his skin. And, you know, just kind of like mentioning that, no, I am different. And then that's the key thing. It was just about, you know, we're not all painted under the same brush. And it was like, okay, well, that was still carrying on even from the time when I was in school, within the 90s as well. You know, everyone still thought you were either from Pakistan or didn't even really realise the difference between India and Pakistan or any of the other various areas of the world that wear the same colour.
Yeah. And I think it's just, you know, they see the dark hair, the brown skin, and it's automatic. And for me, I mean, I was born in the 70s, and so I grew up among, like, you know, in that sort of period. And for me personally, I didn't notice the cultural difference. I was oblivious to it. I guess I was just in my own little world, you know.
A bit like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, as long as I was happy doing, you know, playing football and, you know, just like running around and just being a happy girl that I was. And I didn't notice it until, say, for example, when we went to lunch, and it was like, you eat meat, like this meat is not halal, and it's like, yeah, and I eat that. So, you know, it's being able, you know, people weren't sure what the difference was then, and even, you know, unfortunately sometimes today people are aware of differences, but they're still naive to understand it and to realize, okay, let's think about this. Just like, you know, every Caucasian person is not from England. You know, we have Americans, Canadians, you know, we have so many.
We've got Europeans.
Yeah, sorry,
that's your
phone.
message. Someone's got a message.
But I think, you know, again, going back to Freddie Mercury, he had to deal with that stigma, and even to the point where he changed his name to Freddie Mercury from
Farouk Bulsara.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just so that he could reinvent himself and be the person who he needs to be without any of the old baggage, without the cultural baggage, without the insecurity, and just be that person. I think that takes a lot of strength, and we often do have to reinvent ourselves.
Absolutely. So we're not saying to, you know, everyone that's got, you know, a non-English or, you know, a non-Christian name to change their names or anything. But I mean, you know, people have stage names, which is great. But it's just the difference of what happened then to what is accepted now. So now, you know, maybe he would have kept the name Farouk Bulsara, or maybe Freddie Mercury was that persona that he wanted to be. Again, you know, we won't know. We wouldn't know the answer to that question. But it just kind of was a real eye-opener to see that if back in the day Britain, where it was quite hard to be someone of colour to actually push through and be this amazing rock star and legend, you know, how difficult it was then to how, you know, it's a lot easier now because we've got a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of generations that have been born in either Britain, America, or in the Western world that we can now pave the way and make that, you know, actually pave the way forward for a lot more people. But then you've got someone like Freddie Mercury who already paved the way and went through far more stigma, not just due to his culture, but due to the fact that he had, you know, the shyness that Rita you'd mentioned, but also dealing with his sexuality as well. You know, going from being someone who is straight to someone, then he thought he was bisexual, to actually, he's gay. And, you know, and he had to accept that. And can you imagine being in that sort of time in Britain where everyone else had to accept that, you know, regardless, and actually respect him for that person that he was.
Yeah. So the reason why we are talking about Freddie Mercury is not just because we're Raven fans or
Because we
yeah, I mean, you hear a Queen music, the stereo goes up. That's the way it is in the house. Even on the plane watching the film, we were like just bopping to it.
I don't know if you can bop to Queen.
You know what I mean, but
head banging and maybe air guitaring.
You can't exactly get up and dance or anything, but yeah, you can't stop moving. But the whole essence of why we chose to speak about Freddie Mercury today is really about, because what our show is all about, it's inspiring you to go for your dreams. And we believe that Freddie Mercury was an inspiration of that. He was a true legend. And if anyone, he overcame so many barriers and so many difficulties that he had to face, and yet he still went for it. And to me, that's a strength. And even today, his music lives on. You ask young people today, I'm glad that Bohemian Rhapsody came out when it did, because it's re-educating people about Queen and Freddie Mercury and about going for your dreams. And that's why we chose to speak about Freddie Mercury, is because no matter what, if you believe in yourself and you don't give up on your dreams and you stay focused on what makes you happy, you can overcome so many barriers. And even if you touch one person's life, that can make you smile, that can make you be fulfilled. And as one of the songs say, the show must go on. That was towards the end, where even facing death, he still kept performing, he still kept going with his music. And that was one of the things we learned in the documentary, that he still wanted to make music. And he was constantly, talking to Brian May, saying, give me some music, and let's words, right up until the very end. And he never let go of that passion. And that's a message we want to get out to you all today, is, again, don't give up on your passion, no matter what you're going through. If you really want it, if you really feel it's a part of you and you want to touch other people's lives, then go through with it. Keep on going. Transform yourself if you have to, and just be that person that will be living those dreams that you want.
Don't know what else to say there.
Sorry, I get a bit passionate.
Yeah, Rita just went for it. Yeah, just to reiterate. At the end of the day, someone like Freddie Mercury, and it's not even just about Freddie Mercury, it's every single person out there who is performing, who is doing it for the right reasons. If you want, and this is exactly what we said at the beginning of the show, when you get the drive to do it, you will find the energy. And this is the energy that Freddie Mercury had. It always gave him energy, even towards the end of his days. Despite the physical appearance in his early days and the shyness that he faced, despite the cultural differences that he faced when actually on his journey to becoming this amazing legend that he was, despite the sexuality that he was trying to find himself in, at least he got to know who he was. And despite the fact that he was going through this hard time of illness and the fateful disease that unfortunately caused his death, but despite all of this, he still was a performer. He knew he was a performer, and he was going to be the performer and do the best that he could, and that was basically perform excellently. And that's exactly what he did, and that's exactly who he was. He was a performer, darling, I'm just quoting from Bohemian Rhapsody there. But it's one of those things, is that if it's in you to do it, don't drop it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And listen to that inner call. Don't ignore it, because it's there for a reason. So so I feel like we've preached at people.
Yeah, we really preached at people. We didn't actually mean to do that.
It's just because we're passionate about it, and we both sort of thought to ourselves, well, who can we speak about that is an inspiration? And that's what we'll do in some of our podcasts, is talk about famous people who are inspiring.
Maybe get in touch with us and let us know who inspires you.
Yeah.
Why not keep that communication and, let us know how you're making your dreams come true and how you're getting along in your journey. We want to hear about you and we want to get to know you, our listeners and our viewers. But yeah, it is just about keeping that inspiration alive. So stay inspired, stay empowered, and also don't forget to have fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, I know we sound pretty serious in this podcast, but we're not. We're still having fun and enjoying. So until next time,
we'll be back in August.
Yeah, with a special guest.
Yeah, we've got a special guest coming up in August. Her name is Carol Hansen and she's a stylist. So very different today. You won't hear us preaching at you.
Oh, I don't know about that. But anyway, stay inspired and enjoy and get in touch with us. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what inspires you. Inspire us with your stories. And look after yourself and stay true to you.
Okay, we're finding it difficult to end off. But so anyway, take care and don't forget to #RIME Showcase. See ya.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more RIME Entertainment Showcase.